8:23, welcome back to your Tuesday morning right here on BT. Always an interesting topic in the workplace, how to deal with, how to manage difficult employees. So we brought the expert in, Debby Carreau. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
How do you define a challenging employee?
So the first thing I always say is, you've got a challenging person in your work environment if they're taking up an enormous amount of your time and your energy.
The different types of people that take up this energy, you've got a great list to identify, okay, there are some characteristics that stand out. So let's go through that list that may exist for somebody watching right now.
Perfect. So when I talk about it, there are usually 7 personality types that stand out for me. So let's see how many of the 7 that you recognize. The first one is professional experts. These are the people that are always the smartest one in the room. They know everything about everything. The second one is the negative no's. So whenever you're in a conference situation or you're brainstorming, they're the ones that are going to say why everything will not work. So they just say no to everything. The third one is the ultra competitor. They will compete for everything all the time. They don't stop until they win, and they can often be the office bully as well. The next one is the chronic complainer. These are the people that will complain and complain and complain about everything until you feel their pain. Yes, men and women. These are the people that are always the first to put their hand up, to volunteer for everything, to agree with everything. But at the end of the day, nothing ever happens. Political players. These are the ones that are your best friend to your face, but as soon as you turn your back, they're going to stab you there because it's all about them getting ahead. And then the last one, of course, and we all know these, are the drama kings and queens. These are the people that are highly emotional, over-exaggerate, and they use their emotions as a weapon or a tool in the work environment to advance themselves.
You know, going to business school, I always remember the one lesson that always stood out. I'm like, how do you succeed in the workplace? I had a professor once say to me, he said, just neutralize your emotions. They never teach you office politics, and when you come face to face with it, how do you manage these types of people if you are in a leadership role?
So that's actually a very good point that you brought up on the emotions. So you really need to, first of all, leave the emotions out of it and focus on behaviors and facts. So if you are going to talk to someone about some of these difficult challenges, the first thing you want to do is get into a quiet, private space, take a deep breath, and try really hard to be supportive. Then what you want to do is you want to point out what you personally have noticed in terms of behaviors. Don't say you are like this, you do this. It's about what you've noticed. And then you let them know why this behavior is unproductive, harmful to you, or harmful to the job or to their career. Then you tell them what they need to do to improve, and then what's in it for them. So why is this important at the end of the day that they change this behavior? Because it's going to benefit them. If you can follow all those steps, you're really going to be able to get through to them. And then the last thing I would say is you don't want to forget is people don't remember every word you say, but they remember how you made them feel. So if you want this person to change, you want them to feel motivated when they walk away from that conversation because they're more likely to want to please you.
Well, I like the idea of focusing on the behaviors. What are some other trigger words that you've found or come across that people really comment on of try not to use those words?
So that's where it goes back to those personal attacks. You always do this. Or you're so mean, or you're so confrontational, or you're so aggressive. If you put it out as you're talking to the person about them, they automatically get emotional and get their backs up. So instead, you can say, I notice when we're in meetings together, Riaz, that every time I bring up ideas, you have 4 reasons why it's not going to work. So what that is I'm noticing a behavior. It's not personally attacking you.
Okay, I'll work on that for you, Debby.
Thank you. And you know what? What's in it for you is that we're going to have a much more engaging discussion, and then I will take you out for drinks after work.
Oh, look at that. There's a win-win in the end.
Perfect.
Now, how do you identify if you are the culprit of being the challenging person? Because self-awareness is a big part of this exercise.
This is such a great question, and this is the million-dollar question. So none of us want to be that challenging person. So what are some clues to figure out you are that challenging person? And I'm going to say, before I actually tell you how you know, is a challenging person doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't necessarily mean you're a terrible employee. It just may be that you're in the wrong job, the wrong industry, or the wrong corporate culture. But here are the clues that you are that challenging person in the work environment. First of all, you don't have any friends and you don't like anyone that you work with. That's usually a good sign. The second one is whenever there's office drama, somehow you're always the center of it. Like you have to think about that. If you're always the center of the drama, there's something going on there. The third one is if you think your company goals are dumb or stupid. That right there is a sign, too. If you don't buy in, you shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Again, if you don't have respect for your boss, your manager, your supervisor, at the end of the day, you're not going to succeed in that environment. You need to move on somewhere else.
This is a great checklist of what to go through. And one of the last points, we're out of time, but just looking if you are the right fit, because you could thrive in a different culture altogether. But at Debby Carreau, you can follow along on social media, always bringing us great information. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Great to see you.
I'll work on my game. I'll race it up for next time.
Perfect.
Okay. Drinks later?
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks.
It's good times.